Everyone around me keeps asking why I've been pulling away, why I look like I barely sleep, why my hands shake whenever my phone buzzes. They think it's stress. They think it's burnout. They have no idea the real reason I can't breathe anymore, or what I found hidden in a place I was never supposed to look. When my phone lit up that night, I thought it was Kayla texting to say she was on her way home, or maybe asking if she should wear the black dress or the red one for our anniversary dinner. You know, normal, couple stuff. Instead, I opened my messages and saw one sentence that felt like it punched a hole straight through my chest. I found someone else. I want nothing more to do with you. Just like that. No explanation. No build-up. No emotion. Just 7 words that hit harder than any argument ever could. I stared at my phone until the edges of the screen blurred. Part of me wanted to fire back a dozen questions. Who? Since when? Did I fall short somewhere? But all that panic froze mid-thought. Something inside me just settled. It was like I'd been shoved off a cliff, but halfway down realized I could choose how I landed. She wanted nothing more to do with me? Fine. So I typed 3 words, as you wish. Hit send. Set the phone face down. And that was that. Or at least, that's what I thought. I'm 31, male, and on the surface, I'm the kind of guy who looks like he lives a straightforward life, clean-cut, quiet, hardworking. Nothing flashy. But behind that pretty average exterior is a logistics consultant who practically built his business out of stress sweats and cheap instant noodles. I started my firm in my mid-20s. I barely had a functioning laptop and about $3 worth of courage. The early years were brutal, 80-hour weeks, ramen for dinner, reinvesting everything back into the business. But eventually, things took off. One big contract led to another, and suddenly my maybe this will work gamble became a high-income, niche consulting company. After years of drowning in work, success finally gave me something I'd never had before, breathing room. And 3 years ago, right when life stopped feeling like a survival drill, Kayla walked in. She was 28 when we met. A receptionist at an office downtown, but her real dream was to break into the fine arts world, gallery work, museum curation, all that. She had ambition, passion, vision, just not the money or the connections. She was bright and artistic and impulsive in a way that made my structured, spreadsheet-filled life feel suddenly alive. I fell fast. Hard. And when I realized I could afford to support her dreams, I didn't hesitate. I told her, quit the job you hate. Enroll in art history courses. Take the unpaid internships. Network. I'll handle the rest. I honestly believed we were building a future together. A partnership. A team. And I backed that belief with my wallet, for better or worse. Her rent? $3,500 a month for a downtown apartment with floor-to-ceiling windows and exposed brick walls, the whole artsy aesthetic she loved. Her car? An Audi A5. I co-signed the lease and paid $800 a month. Her clothes, organic groceries, museum memberships, art supplies? I covered it all. I even added her as an authorized user on 2 of my credit cards. I never monitored a single statement. I manage details for a living, but in my personal life? I just wanted to trust her. Our 3-year anniversary was supposed to be special. I had dinner reservations at a place she'd been hinting about for months. I'd spent lunch picking out a sapphire necklace, something delicate, something beautiful, something I thought she'd treasure. I got home early to surprise her. She wasn't there. Instead, at 7:15 p.m., my phone buzzed. And that's when everything split open. I found someone else. I want nothing more to do with you. After 3 years of me quite literally financing her entire life, she ended it in a text short enough to fit on a post-it note. For a second I couldn't breathe. It felt like the room dropped 10 degrees. My hands shook. My mind dumped every possible panic question into one giant pile. But then, clarity. Cold, clean, cutting clarity. She wanted nothing more to do with me? Alright then. The moment I put my phone on silent, something in me switched modes. It was like stepping out of boyfriend and into consultant. Suddenly this wasn't heartbreak, it was a problem to solve. And I solve problems for a living. So I sat down at my laptop and did what I do best, clean the slate. Credit cards. Logged into my banking portal, removed her as an authorized user. Both cards. Instantly deactivated. Car lease. The lease was under my name, co-signed for her. I couldn't cancel it on the spot, but I could stop her access. The next payment was due in a week. So I canceled autopay. Problem for future me, maybe, but not her. Apartment. Lease? Also in my name. I pulled up the agreement. Saw the 60-day notice and 2-month penalty. Annoying, but straightforward. Drafted an email to management invoking the termination clause. CC'd myself for documentation. Done. Streaming, subscriptions, memberships. Netflix. Hulu. Spotify. The boutique gym. The overpriced meal kit she insisted tasted freshly foraged. I went down the list one by one. Passwords changed. Profiles removed. Phone plan. She was on my family plan. One request through the carrier portal and her line was flagged for removal. 45 minutes. That's all it took to unwind 3 years of financial entanglement. When I was done, I just sat there. Not angry. Not sad. Not even relieved. Just empty. I packed an overnight bag, left the sapphire necklace on the kitchen counter like some kind of metaphor, and drove to my brother Lewis's place. I didn't want to be around if she came back to collect her stuff. And for a whole week? Nothing. Silence. Which told me everything I needed to know. Then Friday afternoon rolled around. And I guess her card finally got declined at a salon or boutique or maybe a matcha place, who knows. Suddenly my phone exploded. Pleading texts. Confused texts. Then angry ones, the full cycle. I opened them. Read them. Didn't respond to any. But this morning? That's when things escalated. I woke up to an email with the subject line. Urgent, regarding Ms. Kayla Vance. It was from a partner at some downtown law firm. Very official, very dramatic. He wrote that he represented Ms. Vance and needed to speak with me immediately regarding my summary and malicious cessation of established financial support. Apparently, my 3 small words, as you wish, were not the finale she had been expecting. And that is where things really started to unravel. The past week has been, honestly, the kind of wild ride you only think happens in movies or cautionary Reddit threads. When I made my original post, I felt embarrassed and exhausted. But the comments? Man, they grounded me. They pulled me out of my own head and reminded me I wasn't insane for thinking Kayla's behavior was off the charts manipulative. And thank God I listened to the advice I kept seeing. Get your own lawyer. So I did. My dad has used this attorney, Mr. Phillip, for years for business contracts. He's this older guy who wears reading glasses halfway down his nose and has the dry, sarcastic humor of someone who's been dealing with nonsense for a lifetime. When I sat down in his office and laid everything out, he listened quietly, folded his hands, and said in the most casual voice, "Well, son, looks like you've discovered a new species of predator." Not exactly comforting, but not wrong either. I showed him the email from Kayla's attorney, a man named Mr. Bobby, which honestly sounds more like a country club tennis instructor than a legal threat. The email was dripping with dramatic language, accusing me of malicious cessation of financial support. Mr. Phillip actually snorted. Not laughed, snorted. He said, that phrase is the legal equivalent of a toddler throwing his toys. Translation, it sounds scary, but it's empty. No legal bite whatsoever. So he drafted a reply. Crisp, clean, and brutally professional. He stated that Kayla and I were never married. We shared no joint assets. All financial support I gave her was voluntary. And she was the one who ended the relationship. He finished with a mic drop. Any further communication must go through him. I thought that would be the end of it. Or maybe the beginning of a ridiculous bill for $75,000 or something equally absurd. But no. What came next was actually worse. Mr. Bobby responded with a formal proposal, confidential transitional support settlement. Let me translate. A shakedown with fancy formatting. The letter claimed that Kayla's significant career and emotional investment in our relationship meant she had suffered professional setbacks and severe emotional distress after I abruptly cut off support. They suggested I should continue paying her rent for 6 months, cover her Audi payment, and send her $20,000 as a parting sum, all to avoid lengthy and public litigation. I had to reread it twice just to make sure I wasn't hallucinating. Mr. Phillip glanced at the letter, set it down, and said, ignore it. If they try to file this, they'd be committing malpractice. So we ignored it. And that's when the real entertainment began. Saturday afternoon, I got a frantic call from Judith, the property manager at Kayla's old apartment. Judith is the type of woman who's been through the wars. She has that tired but done with your nonsense voice that only comes from managing tenants for too many decades. Apparently, Kayla had shown up with her new boyfriend, Russell. Yes, the same Russell she left me for. They demanded access to the apartment. Judith told them no, because Kayla wasn't on the lease. According to Judith, Kayla lost it. Started shouting that her life's work was trapped inside, that she needed her portfolio for an internship review. Russell, trying to look tough, stepped forward and said, we can make this very difficult for you. Judith just pointed to the giant "No trespassing" sign like she was introducing a clueless couple to a reading comprehension test. A few hours later, Kayla texted me directly, skipping both lawyers. You can't just throw me out. My internship portfolio is in there. I have a review next week. Then another. The dealership just called. The Audi payment declined. The lease is co-signed. You're ruining your own credit. Are you stupid? A bluff. My credit is rock solid, and one delayed payment, which I planned to handle, wasn't going to so much as sneeze at my score. Then she sent the line that actually made my eyebrows hit my hairline. Russell is a good man. He's a real estate developer. He says you're playing games you can't win. A good man who shows up to scream at a property manager? Sure. Okay. I didn't reply. I just screenshotted everything and forwarded it to Mr. Phillip. His response? He sounded almost gleeful. Direct contact after counsel has been retained. Excellent. She's making this very easy. But the dirtiest move came yesterday. A mutual friend, someone who follows Kayla's private Instagram, sent me a screenshot of her private story. It was a teary-eyed selfie. Glossy cheeks, trembling lip, the whole melodramatic setup. The caption? Finally escaping a financially abusive and controlling relationship. The road ahead is terrifying, but I'm so grateful for real support. Survivor. I had to sit back and just breathe for a second. Not because it hurt, but because the audacity was so massive it almost impressed me. She dumped me. She found another guy. And she was painting herself as the survivor because she didn't get to keep the luxury lifestyle I paid for? Yeah. No. Mr. Phillip is now drafting a cease and desist for slander. We've arranged for her to collect her belongings, and this time, I'm not giving her even half an inch of wiggle room. 2 neutral movers, a full inventory list, her lawyer present, everything documented. Kayla really thought she could just replace me and keep the benefits package. Like I was some kind of a la carte provider she could swap out whenever she wanted, as long as the perks stayed the same. The entitlement is unbelievable. And somehow, I don't think this saga is over yet. I honestly thought this whole mess had already peaked. I figured the move out would just be one more miserable box to check off before finally closing the chapter on Kayla. But somehow, the universe said, "Oh, you thought we were done? Cute." Because what actually happened, yeah. I didn't see any of that coming. The move out was scheduled for Saturday morning, the whole operation designed to be clean, supervised, and drama-free. I'd hired 2 licensed movers, gave Mr. Phillip a detailed inventory list of her personal items, and Mr. Bobby was supposed to show up at 10 a.m. to supervise on her side. Simple, right? At 9:45, my phone buzzed. It was one of the movers. Sir, the lady and a gentleman are here. They say their lawyer is running late and they want to get started." Instant knot in my stomach. You know that cold drop you feel when you instantly know something's wrong? Yeah, that. I called Mr. Phillip on the spot. He told me, "Do not let them in until counsel is present. Tell the movers to hold the line." But we were already too late. Trying to be helpful, the movers had already buzzed Kayla and Russell into the building lobby. Mr. Phillip called Mr. Bobby, who claimed he was stuck in traffic and would be 30 minutes late. Sure. Totally believable. Definitely not something you say when you're part of a planned ambush. Either way, we had to deal with it. I told the movers they were to move boxes only, nothing more. And for the next half hour, Kayla and Russell apparently tried everything short of interpretive dance to manipulate the situation. First, Russell tried to bluff the movers, insisting they were part of his hired team. They weren't. Then Kayla tried the tears, saying the movers were intimidating her. It was Oscar-worthy, truly. She even clutched her chest like she was in a soap opera. But the real explosion happened when it came to the furniture. Kayla insisted the custom bookshelf, the ergonomic desk, the mattress, and the 65-inch OLED TV were all gifts from me, therefore hers. Then she and Russell actually tried lifting the TV. This was the moment the movers earned every penny I paid. The lead mover, a massive guy built like a refrigerator, calmly stepped between them and the door. He didn't shout. He didn't get emotional. He just said, "Folks, that item is not on my inventory list. Please put it down." Russell puffed up like he was auditioning for tough guy number 3 in a low-budget crime movie. "Who are you to tell us what to take?" he snapped. The mover didn't blink. "I'm the guy this man hired to prevent theft from his property. Put it down or my next call is to the police." The air went dead silent. And right on cue, the lobby door swung open. Mr. Phillip walked in like a calm storm in a tailored suit. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't point fingers. He just assessed the scene with this chilling, unimpressed expression, like a teacher catching 2 kids trying to steal the school projector. He approached Kayla and Russell, glanced at the TV in their hands, and pulled out a folder. Receipts. All of them. Every single piece of furniture, all purchased by me, all in my name. Then he said, very evenly, "Since your counsel is not present, any attempt to remove property not on the approved inventory list constitutes a breach of our agreement. If you continue, I'll be filing a police report for attempted grand larceny." The look on their faces? Priceless. Kayla's face twisted into this silent rage. Russell looked like a balloon someone popped with a pin. Defeated, furious, and absolutely outmaneuvered, they dropped the TV back onto the stand, grabbed the boxes from the list, and stormed out. And in true dramatic fashion, they left behind scuff marks on the walls, ripped packaging, and trash all over the apartment. The landlord billed me $1,200 for repairs. Mr. Phillip immediately forwarded the invoice, along with the mover's written incident report, straight to Mr. Bobby. I wish I could have seen his face. But here's the part one never expected, the revenge I didn't plan, and honestly couldn't have planned better if I tried. Remember her #Survivor Instagram post? The one where she posed with tear-stained cheeks and called me a financial abuser because I stopped funding her luxury lifestyle? Well, the art world around here is small. Very, very small. One of the junior curators at her gallery, Leslie, saw the post. I'd met her a few times. Smart girl. Good read on people. And she knew Kayla's story well enough to recognize the post for the steaming pile of nonsense it was. She didn't confront Kayla. She didn't make a scene. She didn't even comment. She just quietly showed it to another colleague. And that's all it took. In a matter of hours, the whole gallery staff knew. Kayla, the unpaid intern who dressed like a trust fund heiress, was on Instagram calling herself a survivor of financial abuse, while conveniently forgetting to mention that she dumped me, moved in with another guy, and had her entire lifestyle bankrolled by the man she was now slandering. It didn't paint her as a brave survivor. It made her look like a manipulative, unserious, deeply toxic person. And in a world where reputation is everything, that was the kill shot. Last week, the gallery director pulled her aside and said, very politely, that her internship was no longer a good fit moving forward. Translation. She's done. Her consequences aren't just financial anymore. They're social, professional, reputational. And the best part? I didn't have to lift a finger. I'm sitting down to write this one last time for a very simple reason. I want my version, the truth, to be the final word. My original post ended up circulating in places I never expected, and while most people understood what really happened, I wanted to close this chapter in my own voice, on my own terms. After everything, that feels important. For a few weeks after the last update, things went strangely quiet, almost eerily so. No more surprise emails. No more threats. No more theatrics. Just silence. And honestly, I needed it. I spent a weekend clearing out the old apartment for good. Instead of selling the furniture or trying to recoup the cost, I donated everything, the desk, the bookshelf Kayla fought over, the mattress, the sofa, to a charity that helps families who are starting over. Watching the movers load it all into their truck felt like someone was peeling the last layer of her out of my life. Like a cleanse. I paid the lease break penalty. Settled the final utility bills. Signed off the last forms. And when I locked that door one final time, it was like the tension in my chest finally cracked. The anger didn't disappear overnight, but it faded, leaving behind something quieter, a scar, sure, but also a lesson I wouldn't forget. The ending, as it turns out, came from two different directions. The legal ending came first. Mr. Phillip, my lawyer with the patience of a saint and the attitude of a man who has seen every flavor of human nonsense, forwarded me one final letter from Mr. Bobby. It was full of the same trademark bluster, outraged tone, empty threats, dramatic language meant to sound like thunder but landing more like a squeaky door hinge. After receiving the incident report and the $1,200 damage invoice, Mr. Bobby insisted their position remains firm and they were prepared to escalate. Mr. Phillip didn't even pretend to take it seriously. His reply was brutally simple. He stated that if Kayla attempted anything, a lawsuit, a complaint, a tantrum dressed in legal language, we would immediately countersue for apartment damages, movers' fees, legal fees, and, most importantly, a separate civil defamation suit for her social media accusations. Then he ended the letter with the coldest line I've ever seen in a professional email. We have all the receipts. Do you? And just like that, nothing. No angry comeback. No legal threat. No apology. Just total silence. They folded. That was the end of the legal war. But the second ending, that came from somewhere I never expected. About 2 weeks ago, I got an email from Leslie, the junior curator from the gallery where Kayla used to intern. I always liked her, she was bright, grounded, observant. Definitely the opposite of the chaos I'd been dealing with. Her message was small and gentle. Hey, hope you're doing okay. Things got messy here after Kayla left. Thought you might want to see this. Attached was a link to a public Facebook post written by Kayla's father. My heart dropped. For a split second, I worried something awful had happened. But when I opened the post, I realized it was something completely different. It was long. Emotional. Raw in a way only a parent could express. He didn't use my name, but it was obvious who he was referring to. He wrote about how Kayla had walked away from a good, steady man who supported her dreams, choosing instead a flashy fraud who pretended to be a real estate mogul. Her dad said Russell wasn't a developer at all, just a commission-based agent living off debt and swagger. The pressure of trying to sustain Kayla's lifestyle without my resources had crushed him. Then the drama from her firing, the financial abuse Instagram stunt, spread to Russell's colleagues. And in a field where reputation is oxygen, being associated with messy drama is the equivalent of stepping on your own air hose. His sales dropped. His income tanked. And under that strain, their relationship exploded. Her dad said she'd moved back home. No car, repossessed. No internship, gone. No savings, none to begin with. No support system, alienated. No prospects, her reputation burned bridges faster than I ever could. She was back in her childhood bedroom, deep in debt, stripped of everything she traded our relationship for. He ended with a line that hit me harder than anything Kayla herself had done. She had a ladder to her dreams and chose to jump off it for a snake. That sentence sat with me for a long time. Because it was true. Everything that happened to her wasn't something I orchestrated or pursued. I didn't sabotage her internship. I didn't tank her boyfriend's career. I didn't expose her lies publicly. Gravity did the work. Choices have weight. And eventually, they fall. So how do I feel? Honestly, not triumphant. Not vengeful. Not satisfied. Just settled. There's no joy in watching someone you once loved crash into consequences they built with their own hands. There's only a kind of quiet understanding. Some people don't need punishment. They need time, and reality, to catch up. I emailed Leslie back, thanked her for reaching out, and we had a short, warm conversation. Nothing flirty. Nothing dramatic. Just two people talking like normal human beings. It reminded me that not everyone is out to take advantage, not everyone is manipulative, and not everyone sees relationships as power dynamics. Life feels normal again. Peaceful, even. I'm focusing on myself, my business, my health, my boundaries, my future. I'm learning to trust more carefully, to support people without becoming their entire foundation, and to never confuse generosity with obligation. I never heard from Kayla or Russell again. I don't know where they are now. I don't know what they're doing. And for the first time in a long time, I'm truly okay with that. This is the end of the story.